you might just get a double whammy today, if assuming I upload this fucking podcast. But anyway, what the fuck is the deal with flies? What's the deal with fucking flies? Like, what are they fucking God, is this like the hackiest way to start a fucking podcast? Just, can somebody please explain their fucking purpose? Right? Like, I get spiders, even though they fucking, they give me the fucking willies. Is that what it's called? Am I fucking turning into Scooby-Doo over here? It kills me the fuck. I can't do it. I don't know how many times I gotta fucking say this on this podcast. I can't do fucking impressions. So if you were like, oh, he's about to give us like the greatest fucking Shaggy impression ever, you're mistaken, you know? But anyway, fucking spiders give me the willies. The heebie-jeebies. What a stupid fucking name, heebie-jeebies. I mean, it's fun to say. But like I get why fucking spiders exist, right? They basically, at least in the house, they sort of keep the fucking the insect army at bay, right? They kill fucking pests. Yeah, they have a couple of them, a couple species of spider that are, terrifying beyond belief. I mean, the fucking black widow, that fucking redback spider in fucking Australia, I think it's the funnel web spider that's also in Australia, the fucking the brown recluse, like I like those also go on the list of what the fuck, why do they exist? Why do you need things that are so fucking like poisonous that they can kill a fucking man? Like, what is the purpose of that? And it brings me back to fucking flies. What purpose do they serve other than to fucking annoy the shit out of you and land on your food? And, you might be wondering, well, why did you start off this podcast all fucking pissed off at flies? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because here I am enjoying my fucking, my hearty breakfast of turkey sausage and scrambled eggs. With some cheese and a little sriracha on top. Fucking delicious. And I was getting myself some fucking water. And like a fly landed on my fucking arm. And I was like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking fly. And flies have like a weird fucking like spider sense, right? Spidey sense, like fucking Spider-Man. I think that, well, I guess, they made the movie, right? The Fly. Ended up being really fucking disgusting. What the fuck was... Oh, yeah. So it landed on my fucking arm, right? And I shoot it away. And my first thought was like, oh, no. He's gonna fucking head to my food. Do flies have like, oh, there must be some fucking something over here that I can land on and fucking eat? Like, and then on top of that, they're like attracted to shit. What is their fucking purpose? Is it to consume shit? And if that's the case, fine. Have at it, fucking flies. Go eat all the shit that you can fucking enjoy. Fucking go nuts. But stay the fuck away from my eggs and fucking turkey sausage. Oh, God. I'm sorry. That's it's early in the fucking morning, and, I wish I would have started the podcast a little stronger. But, fucking flies. But you got to try the the scrambled eggs, turkey sausage, and a little cheese and sriracha on top. It is fucking delicious. Absolutely delicious. Sorry. I don't mean to eat on the podcast. But this is kind of like my downtime before my day gets really fucking busy. So I decided I'll kill two birds with one stone. I'll fucking eat breakfast Well, actually, what I did first was I jumped rope for like 20 minutes. I'm really fucking getting into that shit, and actually, I got the family into it as well. You'd be surprised at how exhausted you can get fucking jumping rope for 20. I mean, I don't do it 20 minutes straight, obviously, because I'm not fucking superhuman over here, but um. I do like intervals, right? I'll fucking jump rope for a minute and then I'll rest for a minute and then I'll jump rope for a minute and then rest for a minute. Do it off and on for about 20 minutes or so. And, I work out. I've done other cardio, but nothing fucking wipes me out more than just doing something that, as a kid, I thought was kind of fucking gay. And, we already went over this on the last podcast or the podcast before that. Okay, I don't think I have to explain what I mean by gay, right? I don't mean like, oh, jumping rope is homosexual. I mean, it's just fucking gay, right? But yeah, I did that. I fucking, and then I made myself some food, and then I fucking decided to do a podcast. So, there's the breakdown of my fucking morning, if you even give a shit. What do you want to talk about? I know they're getting ready to I guess they're going to start with the fucking the vote of that guy fucking Kavanaugh. You would think, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, I did say that you're going to get like a double whammy this week or today, because I'll probably, like, I did a podcast yesterday, but I didn't fucking delete it. In fact, if I was just referencing, maybe I was referencing that fucking podcast, and here I am yelling at you about what I meant about gay. And, you probably haven't even heard it yet, or maybe you have. I don't know. Depends on what order of the podcast you have listened to. I'll probably release that one first and then this one. And, so, assuming you are one of these people that's like, oh, well, let me see what he had to say at this one and then the following one. Like if you follow some sort of fucking order and your life isn't chaos, chances are you listen to that one first. Or if I decide to fucking post this one first and then that one, I don't know. What it is what it is, okay? But you would think that Republicans would just be like, all right, you know what? Not every fucking fight or every battle is worth fucking fighting. Yeah, they'll get this guy on the fucking on the Supreme Court. And make no mistake that he is going to get fucking nominated, unfortunately. But the ramifications politically that could have for Republicans, there is no, like I said in the other podcast that you might or might not have fucking heard, there really is no difference between the two parties at this point. They're both controlled by the establishment. They're both fucking bought and paid for. It really at this point doesn't matter who which party you fucking vote for, at least between Democrat and Republican, because they're both the fucking same. It's just one is upfront with how much of a fucking monster it is, and the other fucking is, the type that will smile in your face while, secretly fucking sneaking his hand up your wife's fucking dress and, trying to finger bang her. It's just, they're both basically the fucking same. It's just, one makes you feel a little bit better about getting fucked, and the other is just like, nah, you're gonna take this shit. You're gonna bend over, no fucking Vaseline, and you're gonna take it straight up the fucking tutor. That is really all it is. Or that's really the only difference between the two. Right? So make no mistake that this guy will be, he will be fucking voted in, but the ramifications that it will have, I don't know, just the consequences seem a little too much, or too, like they're too big because all this is going to do, you fucking elect this guy, or not elect him, but you put him on the Supreme Court, and you've pretty much have guaranteed that every single person that's not a Republican and not a fucking douchebag is just essentially going to come at your fucking neck in every fucking in every election, right? And I mean, I know why they're doing it, because they think that they're, I mean, you know, they're the majority in the government right now. But I think they're mistaking that being a majority in the government means that they're the majority in the population, and it really isn't the case. They like to call themselves the silent majority. I've gone over this in other podcasts. They like to call themselves the silent majority, but the numbers just don't add up to that. You know, Trump right now has what, like a 38% fucking approval rating. That means that there's what, 60 fucking 2, if I'm doing the math right, 62% that fucking hate the guy. Well, maybe not hate. Hate is a strong word, but, you know, 68 people that, or 62 people that fucking just don't approve of him, period, which means that he doesn't have the majority of the population of the country. So it seems like a weird, like one of those battles that you should just be like, all right, fine. You know, this guy just, he, you know, yeah, he's what we want. He embodies everything that we want. We know that he'll, you know, if Roe versus Wade consequences are going to be so fucking dire, because you basically just told women, your ideas, your concerns, your, what is it, agency over your own body. Wow, we really don't give a fuck about any of that. We're just gonna reverse course and basically take take the rights that you know, to fucking decide what you want to do with your own body. We're just gonna take those away. You know, the consequences will be, or, you know, I don't know. I'd like to think that the consequences would be fucking pretty dire for them, but who the fuck knows at this point? I mean, you have Democrats that are fucking saying that they're okay with fucking Kavanaugh. So, I mean, and this goes back to what I was saying, that, you know, they're both basically two sides of the same coin, or the same coin. I don't know how that fucking phrase goes. You know, they're both basically the same fucking party. It's just, like I said, one's a fucking monster and the other's got a fucking, like one of those fucking smiley emoji masks on. It's hiding the monster underneath, which is why, from this point forward, I'm voting Green Party all the way. I don't, and I know that there's people out there right now, they're going to roll their eyes and be like, oh, so you're basically just going to throw your vote. But no, I'm not throwing it away. I wish people would stop with this idea that a vote for a party that represents my ideals is not a fucking throwaway vote. It's not a protest vote. It's just my fucking vote. In a democracy, I'm allowed to vote for whoever the fuck I want, or which party I fucking want. Me, I prefer to vote for the party that closely resembles my ideals. You know, I've decided that, I'm no longer going to take the fucking easy, sort of cowardly way out of, just picking the lesser of two evils, because, it's better to have somebody smile in my face while they stab me in the back than it is for somebody to just stand in front of me with a fucking meat cleaver. I'm done fucking doing that. I'm taking a stand, I guess, if you want to say that it's a protest vote there, but it isn't. I'm not protesting I'm not protesting Democrats or fucking Republicans. What I'm doing is I'm voting for the person and party that more closely fits my ideals. They are for universal health care, for tuition-free college, for ending the wars, for creating a infrastructure plan for, trying to wean us off of oil and bring us towards green energy. They stand for pretty much everything that I fucking stand for. So why would I not vote for them? And the question is that if you are somebody that agrees that we should have a universal health care where people shouldn't have to fucking go bankrupt over a case of the fucking sniffles. If you agree that maybe, tuition-free college might have a humongous fucking effect on everybody, right? I mean, financially, it will relieve anybody that has kids and isn't a fucking, that doesn't own a fucking yacht. It relieves that fucking stress. But what it also does is it could have the potential of ending a lot of fucking violence, especially in, in urban fucking, I hate when people say urban, right? Because you know what they're fucking talking about. It could end a lot of the violence that happens there because now people will feel like, I actually have a chance to follow a dream rather than pretend like, like it's just as simple as fucking ignoring, and I mean, I hate that fucking excuse that people give, right? That are like, oh, you see other fucking examples of, how come they did it? Why can't you? You're just not trying hard enough. And, and they completely dismiss the fact that the school systems in a lot of these fucking neighborhoods is like way below par, which means that even if you do, study your ass off, you get out into the real world, you get to go to college and you find out that you're like miles behind everybody else. As far as comprehension of, sometimes of basic fucking concepts. Okay, the school systems in these areas are shit. Yeah, there are like, a chosen few that made it out that weren't fucking, they didn't do it via being able to play fucking basketball or fucking make a rap album. Yeah, there are some people that made it out. But it is such a fucking rare thing that, you have to, at some point, you have to ask, well, why is it that there are so few that make it out and so many that get left behind? And this idea that, oh, they fucking enjoyed living in fucking constant fear and violence. I mean, give me a fucking break. Who could be happy living in some shit like that? I know that there might be a few that are like, I fucking love the hood. I love fucking all this drama and shit. I know that there are a few out there, but most people, I assume, would prefer to be able to walk outside and not worry about catching a stray fucking bullet to the noodle. I'm pretty sure most people in those communities would love to not have to worry about that shit. So you create something like tuition-free college where now you can use the excuse, right? Now you can say shit like, well, you have the opportunity and you're choosing not to fucking follow it. If anything, it gives racist pieces of shit the ability to be like, well, see, you must like it in that fucking situation because now you have no fucking excuses. You can go to fucking college. So it's weird that people would be against that, especially the racist people, because I mean, as much as you love to believe that people are just fucking lazy and, and unwilling to work hard and all this other fucking horse shit, the reality is that the deck is stacked against people in these situations, and not just people of color. We're talking about just, white people as well that live in like trailer parks and shit. The school systems in the shitty fucking white neighborhoods or white communities are just as bad. They're maybe a little bit better, but they're just as fucking bad. And so if they do manage to make it out of fucking squalor, they too end up in a situation where they might be fucking miles behind everybody else in that fucking college classroom. Not to mention that the 30, 40, 50, $60,000 worth of fucking debt that you are instantly fucking, given even before you fucking have a job is kind of a turnoff for a lot of people. Yeah, they have fucking, grants and shit that you don't have to pay back. But you know what? In order to get grants, you have to you have to jump through a lot of fucking hoops that people may not be able to do. Grants aren't easy. There aren't people that like, well, I could have a grant, but I choose to go into 30, 40, 50, $60,000. There's nobody making that fucking choice. And the fact that if you are one of these people that thinks that's the case, you are a fucking idiot. Hands down, a fucking idiot, because nobody would make that choice. But I don't know, I got way off my fucking topic here. But if you are somebody that's of sound mind and not just completely letting your bullshit fucking rule over your ability to fucking think, you could see how a tuition-free college system would be very beneficial to everybody. Black, white, Latin, whatever. It would be beneficial to everybody. Ending the fucking bullshit wars that we're in definitely is a good thing. Especially since not one of those fucking wars that we're involved in is based on anything other than just we want control of their natural fucking resources. That is all it is. We're not fighting, I know that they're saying, oh, we're fighting the war on fucking terror and we're fucking trying to stamp out, terrorism, except if you actually look into it, it turns out that, like take Syria, for example, right? Lots of people have a hard on for going into fucking Syria and getting rid of Assad. And, just like when we ran into fucking Iraq without a fucking plan, who takes over if Assad is fucking toppled? Fucking Al-Qaeda, fucking Al-Nusra. All the fucking terrorist groups that we're supposed to be fucking afraid of, but we're now funding to fight Assad. I said this in the other podcast that, it's weird that that we're so fucking buddy with Saudi Arabia. And yet, I think 99% of the fucking the guys that fucking hijacked the planes and flew them into the World Trade Center and to the Pentagon and whatever, they were all fucking Saudis. But we chose to go to Iraq for some fucking reason, which turned out to be complete fucking bullshit. So ending the fucking wars, would be a fucking good thing. There's nobody, Democrat or Republican, there's no elected official that I've seen on either of those two parties that is calling for ending the wars. They just increased the military budget, right? By like 80 billion or some fucking amount. And the weird thing is, and I know that I said this in the other podcast, the weird thing is nobody asks where you're going to get the money for that. How are you going to pay for it? You talk about universal fucking healthcare and everybody screams, oh, how are you going to fucking pay for it? But we fucking increased the military budget, which is already way beyond fucking bloated. Nobody even asks. There's no town halls. There's no fundraiser. There's nothing. It's just, oh, you need 80 billion? Here you go. And if you are one of the, if you happen to be, like a Trump supporter, or even, even if you're a fucking Democrat or whatever, and you're listening to this and, and you're definitely on the side of, oh, Israel is awesome and we should fucking topple Assad and we should fucking do this and do that. While you at the same time mock progressives for wanting you to have fucking free healthcare. I mean, you have to ask yourself, why is it that whenever they need money to bail out fucking banks or to increase the military budget or something that essentially just makes already fucking ridiculously wealthy people even more wealthy, why there's never like, how are you going to fucking pay for it? But whenever it's something that would actually help just regular fucking people, it's like, oh, we can't afford that. How are we supposed to afford that? And if we do, implement that, then obviously we have to cut all these other fucking social programs, which, by the way, Democrats are pushing for PAYGO, right? And for those of you that are like, well, what the fuck is PAYGO? Basically, Nancy Pelosi's pushing for this, by the way. That basically, if you want to implement a program, say like a, Medicare for all program, in order to fund it, you have to cut funding to other social programs or other things. Right. It's not like, well, we're going to, I don't know, fucking spend, like chump change out of the fucking military budget to pay for it. No, we have to cut things like, like welfare or, WIC or, something that fucking helps out, underprivileged fucking children, which is pretty much a guarantee that we'll never have fucking Medicare for all, because who's going to agree to do that shit? Who's going to be like, well, I want free healthcare, so fuck these poor people that, need food. Who's going to fucking do that? They're not going to fucking do it. And that's what Democrats are pushing right now. So if you are a Democrat and you're sitting there rolling your eyes at me talking about, my vote for the Green Party is just a protest vote, or I'm just being a fucking big baby or whatever, go fuck yourself, because your own party is fucking its what do you call it? Its base over. Your own party's doing that. So I'm not interested in voting the lesser of two evils anymore, because lesser evil, full evil, either way you're getting evil. I'm done with that shit. How did this fucking podcast turn into the other podcast? This was supposed to be lighthearted. Well, let me just finish my fucking point here. Our fucking infrastructure is falling apart. If we decided to fix our infrastructure, you know how many fucking jobs that would create? You ever ask yourself, if you're a Democrat, why, when the Democrats or the DNC comes out with their, oh, this is our fucking plan, the new deal or whatever, why is there never a fucking jobs program? Why is their policy never includes any sort of jobs program? What it is like, oh, we'd like to provide job training, whatever the fuck that means. Which, basically doesn't mean shit, right? If we decided that, you know what, we're going to end the fucking wars, and we're going to come home and we're going to have a fucking, we're going to completely revamp our infrastructure. You know how many fucking jobs that would create? Or, moving over from, our dependence on oil towards green energy. This all has potential to create fucking jobs, which is what most people want. They just want a fucking job that pays them enough to fucking survive and not have to worry about shit. All of these things could definitely benefit people. So if you are one of these people that's like, the Green Party, fuck them, or whatever, I have to ask, how fucking stupid are you that you've convinced yourself that it's better to give 80 fucking billion more dollars to a military budget that is so fucking bloated it's ridiculous? I mean, $80 billion more. $80 billion is more than, I know that everybody's so fucking afraid of Russia all of a sudden. $80 billion is more than what Russia spends on their fucking military budget. It's more than that. And we added 80 billion to what we were already fucking using. Not to mention, and I know I said this in the other fucking podcast, that the Pentagon there's like 22 trillion fucking dollars. That's trillion with a T. Just, they don't know where the fuck it is. Right? We have all the fucking money in the world to fund this bullshit. But when it comes to things that would actually help people, oh no, how are you going to fucking pay for? Oh, we got to do pay-go. Oh, we can't do that unless we fucking cut this over here. I mean, if you're still one of these people that thinks that the Democrats or Republicans are actually looking out for you in any fucking way, if you're one of these fucking people, I hope that I'm changing your mind a little bit. That maybe, I'm not expecting you to be like, well, yeah, you got a point. I'm going to completely ditch my fucking belief system. If anything, I hope it causes you to at least just go look shit up. And what I mean by look shit up is you don't head to mainstream media or, as Bill Burr likes to fucking say, I'mRight.com, where basically you just go look for shit, for opinions and stuff that match, that sort of confirm your own fucking beliefs. Just go look shit up. Hell, just read fucking Listen Liberal. I used to push reading this book, a couple of months ago or whatever. Just fucking read the book, especially if you're a Democrat. Fucking read Listen Liberal. Go read fucking Pity the Billionaire by, I think it's the same guy, Thomas Franks. Is the same guy that wrote, at least I think Pity the Billionaire was by Thomas Franks. He wrote Listen Liberal. I think he wrote both of those books, Listen Liberal and Pity the Billionaire. There's also, what's that fucking book? Death of the Liberal Class by Chris Hedges. There's lots of fucking information that you can read and get a good sense of what's actually going on. And you can realize that, hey, you're being fucking lied to. Or you can continue on thinking that, that this tribalism fucking bullshit of our team versus their team, that's all that's fucking important, that, that things like kneeling at a fucking football game are a real fucking issue, or that, Russia, there's some fucking boogeyman that likes to ride horses fucking topless, like, they're the reason that Democrats lost, not the fact that Hillary Clinton is just a fucking horrific fucking candidate. I mean, they did a study when, during the primary, that out of all of the Democrat candidates that were running, she was the only one that had the potential to lose to Donald Trump. The only one. Even that guy O'Malley, I think his fucking name is, even he did better as far as poll numbers wise. Even he would have beat Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton was the only one that was slated to lose to him. And you guys all got behind him and were like, oh yeah, she's the stronger fucking candidate. Meanwhile, progressives, we were screaming at you, even during the primary, that if you fucking put her as the candidate, she's gonna lose. And we're gonna end up with Trump as a fucking, as president. We fucking screamed it. There was a guy that when I was on Twitter, right, that, he was a hardcore fucking Hillary Clinton supporter. And, of course, I was for Bernie Sanders until he fucking got cheated. And then he started fucking stumping for Hillary Clinton, then I sort of jumped off that fucking bandwagon. But, me and this guy used to go back and forth about, exactly what I just said, that look, if you fucking, if you stand behind her, if she becomes the candidate, she's gonna lose. And he was insistent, no, there's no fucking way she could lose to that fucking clown. There's no fucking way. And I was like, all right, fine. You know what? I'll follow you. You follow me. And then after, like, if she becomes the nominee, and after the general election, then I'll tell, then, when she fucking loses, then I'll fucking be like, I told you so. Or you can do the same to me. You can be like, I told you, there's no way she was going to lose. The only problem is right before the fucking primary, when a lot of the shit that I was saying was starting to make a lot of sense, then he decided that he didn't want to follow me anymore and he fucking blocked me. I wish to God he had never done that shit, because it would have been fucking delicious. Being like, I fucking told you so. I fucking told you so. You know, but how did I get onto this shit? I was talking about why, why I picked the Green Party, fixing the infrastructure, weaning us off of fucking, off of oil and pushing us towards more green energy, the fucking jobs it would create, it just, to me, that's the only party that makes any fucking sense. The other two are 100% bought and paid for by corporations, the establishment, the fucking, the deep state, or whatever the fuck that means. They're all bought and paid for. They're all, the fucking, like the Koch brothers, for example, right? I mean, I know that they're now heavily funding the Republicans, but they used to fund the fucking Democrats. If you look up like some of the top fucking donors to either fucking party, you'll find out that they basically donate to both sides. They're basically betting on both sides, because either way they fucking win, right? If the Republican wins, they know that they're gonna get what they fucking want. If the Democrat wins, they're gonna feel obligated to fulfill whatever fucking demands that they might have. Either way, they fucking win. And that's why, during, I hate to keep bringing it back to fucking Hillary Clinton, why progressives, why we made such a big deal about the fucking speeches that she had made to fucking people on Wall Street for $400,000, $500,000 a pop. And everybody insisting that they just really wanted to hear her fucking speak. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. They're going to pay her fucking $400,000 to $500,000 to what? Talk about fucking pantsuits? Talk about how she's such an ally to women, even though when her husband was president, she was all for the fucking that ridiculous fucking crime bill and gutting fucking welfare, which definitely did hurt a lot of women. Or the fact that, when she had an opportunity to get behind, what's her face, the Nixon chick, Cynthia Nixon, she chose to fucking get behind Anthony Cuomo. Isn't there like a fucking clip out there that was like, oh, there's a special place in hell for a woman that doesn't support other women? Wasn't that her, or was it fucking somebody like, attached to her or whatever? And yet when it comes time to actually get behind women, she's going with the dude. Those fucking speeches, they mattered. And it wasn't just like, oh, well, because, you're just upset because, she's a woman and the other guys. No, we have a fucking problem with it, period. I think it's fucking ridiculous that Obama, after leaving office, went on his fucking bribe tour. Now he's collecting his fucking bribe money, right? For, from the very same places that like the banks that he bailed out during his, when he was president, instead of fucking taking care of all the people that were affected by the actions of those same fucking banks. He goes and gives $400,000 or $500,000. You don't think that wasn't just fucking payment for not fucking breaking him up and not fucking sending anybody to you really think they just really wanted to hear him fucking speak? People are sorry. I don't mean to talk with food in my mouth, but people are such fucking idiots now. They're so caught up in their tribalism bullshit that they can't even see the fucking facts that are in front of their face. I mean, I can't believe people actually argue that, that $400,000 to $500,000 is a reasonable fee to charge, or that there is no fucking possible conflict of interest, considering that if you are going to hold public office and you're going to have to sort of be, you're going to sort of have to protect the society from these fucking corporations that this. I mean, I can't believe people actually think that that if she were fucking president, after just taking all that fucking money, that when it came time to defend society against these people, that she was actually going to fight them. Kind of the way that fucking Obama basically, bailed out the people that caused the fucking financial crisis. I mean, it's just weird how nobody fucking seems to have any critical thinking skills anymore. But I don't know. Back to what I was fucking saying. Here I am 40 minutes in. This was supposed to be a lighthearted podcast, and I apologize, But if you're still fucking voting for either of these fucking parties and you're trying to convince yourself that it isn't a case of my team versus their team, I have to question your fucking intellectual ability, because you're 100% being fucking duped and used as a fucking distraction so that, that these fucking, yacht owning cunts can make even more money. I said this in the other podcast. Again, I'm sorry for talking to you with food in my mouth. But, my shit's getting cold. And, I don't know. I don't want, you know what happens when I fucking break my train of thought. And see, this is exactly what happens. Because now I don't know where the fuck I was going with it. Like, one of the things, and I know I said this in the other fucking podcast, and I apologize that, that this has basically turned into a carbon copy of that. Maybe I shouldn't even release that one. I don't know. But, like the Trump supporters are just like, the tax cuts, they put an extra $1,000 in my paycheck, and and how could that be a fucking bad thing? Meanwhile, the 83% of the people that benefited from those fucking tax cuts are all fucking part of the 1%, and and there's plenty of fucking information out there that will let you know that in 10 years it'll be you footing the bill for those fucking tax cuts, not them. So, yeah, you're enjoying your $1,000 now, but, come 10 years, you're going to be fucking screwed. And the fact that you're allowing yourselves to be fucking used like that, just because he, like Trump is great at framing it in a way that, he'll be like, oh, the Democrats, they vote against giving tax breaks to the middle class or to working people. It's a great way to frame it, except it's complete fucking horseshit. And I mean, I'm fucking astounded that there is even like that he still even has supporters. I mean, aside from the small niche of people that are just fucking racist shitbags, I'm surprised that there are still just regular people fucking supporting this guy, considering he has basically gone against pretty much everything he said he was gonna fucking do during the campaign. Talked about bringing jobs home and all our factories home and shit. Meanwhile, 93,000 fucking jobs have been outsourced. Hell, jobs at his own fucking businesses were outsourced. His fucking ties and shit, they're all made in fucking China. He told you he's gonna build a fucking wall, which is just ridiculous. I mean, yeah, he's trying to do it, but the problem is in order to fucking build that wall, he basically has to cut through people's property in order to do it, which means it ain't gonna fucking happen. Because nobody's going to be like, well, yeah, just cut my fucking property in half so that you can fucking build your stupid fucking wall. As if that's really going to fucking stop anybody from coming in And I mean, and not to mention that if you actually look shit up, we have like a 0%, what do you call it? 0 fucking percent fucking, immigration at this point, at least coming from Latin America. Now, for those of you that are like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Basically, they ran the numbers that there are more people leaving the United States than coming in. So this idea that we're being overrun by fucking Mexicans or whatever it is, it's horse shit. It's absolute horse shit. But because, you know, a lot of people are just caught up in their tribalism and they're just like, oh, you know, Trump, he fucking says what he thinks. He doesn't try and shine it up like a fucking apple. That you got fucking, you got duped. And I understand how it happened. I'm not one of these people that thinks that, oh, you're fucking stupid if you voted for him. I understand a lot of people just, the idea of fucking more of the same, which was definitely what was going to happen with Hillary Clinton, was just, it wasn't palatable, and because he basically campaigned as a populist, even though he was, even though that was complete fucking horse shit. Like, I 100% understand why most people voted for Trump, but what I don't understand is why people continue to support the guy. I mean, unless you're just so unless you're just in so much denial that you refuse to accept that, you know what? Okay, he fucking fooled us. He told us he was going to do this and he fucking did that. And, he's supposed to be anti-establishment. Meanwhile, he fills his cabinet up with fucking, Goldman and Sachs fucking bankers and shit. I mean, there's really no fucking difference between him and Obama, except Obama fucking, he was a good speech fucking writer, right? Made you feel good. There's really no fucking difference between the two, except for, Obama's black and he's white. And, and it's kind of obvious that Trump definitely favors white people a little more than everybody else. That is not a fucking secret. Which, speaking of which, when they show his fucking rallies and shit now, isn't it weird that they never show like the crowd? Like, they show the people behind him, but they never show like who he's fucking talking to. And my suspicions are that those rallies aren't as full as they used to be, which is why they only show the people behind him fucking looking like morons. And you might be like, well, they, of course, fucking MSNBC and, CNN or whatever, of course they're only going to show that because they don't want, they don't want fucking the America to know that this guy is still fucking beloved. But, the thing is that they do it even on Fox News, who definitely is 100% in love with Trump. They never show us crowds anymore. And I suspect it's because those crowds aren't as big as they used to be. Because a lot of people have figured out, oh, this guy was full of shit. This guy has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He's making, he's putting us at risk. He like, all the promises he fucking made are fucking, bullshit. And then he bases like the economy, like, oh, the economy's doing so well and there's such low unemployment. And he bases it all off of the fucking stock market, which really is no indication of anything. The only thing the stock market indicates is how well super fucking rich people are doing. And the unemployment numbers being fucking like record lows or whatever, it doesn't take into account that there are people that have just given up because they cannot find fucking work, or that the jobs that have been created were all very low paid and they're temporary. He's great at fucking framing shit. And I understand why people that don't really take any sort of like deeper look into what he says, I understand why a lot of people will come out and be like, oh, lowest fucking unemployment, and and this, that, and the other, and and it's all because they haven't looked any deeper than that. They just looked at what the fucking talking head said and then decided to repeat it. But if you actually go and look into it, you find out that the reason that unemployment is so fucking low is that most people, or a lot of people, have just given up and just completely fallen off of the fucking the map there. So it seems like, oh yeah, unemployment's fucking down. But what it doesn't talk about is that it's not like employment is up. And the jobs that have been created are all, most of them are fucking low wage, part-time or temporary work, which still means that everybody is still, in fucking poverty. And I bet even right now, even though I am fucking putting it out there that the guy completely fucking fooled a lot of his fucking support, I bet you that there's still people that, if they're still listening to this, are fucking rolling their eyes and be like, oh, you just fucking hate Trump and you're a fucking libtard or whatever it is you want to fucking say. I bet even then, but you still, even if you feel like that's what I'm doing, which I think it's pretty obvious that I'm not, or else I'd be pushing for electing fucking Democrats and pushing that whole bullshit of, any blue will do, or whatever the fuck it is, or whatever their little slogan is. I'm not pushing for Democrats in power, because I understand that it's because of fucking Democrats that we have Trump. I understand that it wasn't fucking Putin or any of that other fucking horse shit. That the reason that we have Trump is because, of 40 fucking years of neoliberal bullshit where the Democratic Party just completely abandoned the abandoned workers, abandoned its fucking base, decided to, start taking fucking corporate donations and I mean, I've gone through the history of all of the fucking shit that Bill Clinton is fucking responsible for in previous podcasts. I'm not going to go over it again. So I'm well aware of how we ended up with Trump, and it isn't fucking Vladimir Putin. It was actually fucking Bill Clinton. And the fact that Democrats are refusing to change anything, and the fact that they're just, they're so fucking wishy-washy, and they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to take a stand. All that they're, and their biggest thing is like, oh, let's impeach Trump. And, and we'd rather have fucking Pence. You'd rather have fucking Mike Pence, a devout fucking crazy religious guy that knows that, that knows how to be calculating in the shit that he fucking says, and doesn't just fucking flop off at the chops like Trump does. You really want that? You want a guy that can actually get the fucking horrific shit that Trump tries to do fucking done? You want him in? Why? Because you just hate Trump that much that you're willing to just, you're willing to throw everybody else under the fucking, but it's so ridiculous. And the only reason that they want that is because they just can't get over the fact that Hillary Clinton fucking lost to him. That's how ridiculous it is. So yeah, I'm not fucking, I'm definitely not pushing for Democrats. I've even vowed that even the progressive candidates that are running in the Democratic Party, I'm not even supporting them. Simply because if you can't recognize that fucking party is a dumpster fire, I don't want anything to do with you, because you're most likely you're either already compromised or you will be. And to the one or two fucking Trump supporters that are still listening to this, oh shit, I haven't seen one of those cars in a long ass time. It's like an old ass, what do you call those things? The British fucking car. Fuck. The little fucking tiny clown car looking thing that's now all of a sudden is, the Mini, right? I don't even know why they still call it the Mini, because at this point it's not the fucking Mini anymore. So it's basically the same size as any fucking car. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. You know, part of what made the Mini fucking cool and unique was the fact that it was fucking small, that it was actually mini. I don't know who made the fucking decision to turn it into just a regular size fucking car, but you know, it's just, you know, I had considered getting one a long time ago because the modification options that car used to have. I don't know if they still have it or not. I really don't care anymore. But you know, the options that were offered for that car were fucking unbelievable. You know, it went beyond just like, oh, what color can shit. I mean, you could opt for fucking, it's like sport fucking suspension, sport fucking motor. I mean, you could do fucking tons of fucking modification to that car and turn it into to a fucking sleeper. But you know, now it's just the same fucking thing as any other car, except it's calling itself the fucking Mini. And why am I talking about this? I don't know. I don't even know how I know how the fucking car drove by, and you know, because I can't pay attention longer than fucking 2 fucking seconds, I got distracted, and you know, instead of continuing what I was saying, here I am talking about modifying a fucking Mini Cooper. You know, I don't know. I don't even know what I don't know what I was fucking saying, other than, you know, I'm not on board with the fucking Democrats anymore, and I don't understand why anyone else is. I've never been on board with Republicans. To me, it has never made any fucking sense that if you are an ordinary fucking Mo that's, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, it's never made any sense to me why you would be a Republican, other than you just wanted to be, you know, you wanted to choose a fucking team that was against anybody that you fucking had a problem with. You know, because they do not have a history of helping anybody except for the super fucking rich and wealthy. They don't have a history of that. Yeah, maybe fucking back during the times of Abraham Lincoln, yeah, the Republican Party was okay. But, you know, but that is not the fucking Republican Party that exists now. That definitely isn't the fucking Republican. That isn't the Republican Party that's existed for the past, I don't know, fucking maybe 100 years in this country. They are definitely not looking out for the little guy. You know, they like to give the appearance of it, right? They'll bring up fucking Joe Six-Pack and fucking Patty McFucking you know, I don't know, palm reader or whatever. I really shit the bed on the fucking analogy there. They like to give the appearance, just like the Democrats. They like to give the appearance that, oh, you know, we're fighting for you. You know, yeah, we'll put on a fucking vest and, you know, and take a photo op with a fucking rifle in our hand and pretend like we're fucking hunters and shit. You know, it's all just fucking aesthetics. But if you look at what they've done, they've never once fucking helped anybody that wasn't a fucking, you know, a millionaire, billionaire, or trillionaire. It's just their policies just they're not reflected on helping anybody that doesn't own a fucking yacht. So it's never made any sense to me why people that are just fucking living paycheck to paycheck or whatever. It's never made any sense why they would be a Republican, other than they just want to be on the team that's opposite everyone else, or they're a racist piece of shit, right? You know, I don't understand why anybody's still a fucking Democrat. I don't fucking get it. I don't get anybody at this fucking point, you know. I don't know, I'm just a fucking lone wolf out here, you know. I'm completely confused about society now, because, I mean, it seemed like after George W. Bush was out, it seemed like everybody was sort of like, okay, maybe we should, you know, we should weigh things out. Maybe we should look for empirical evidence of things before we just jump on board, and, you know, because everybody was fucking like, pardon the expression, but just shell shocked from the fucking Iraq war and the fact that the housing fucking thing and all, everybody was just, it just seemed like, okay, people started to wise up and were like, all right, maybe we shouldn't just jump behind a guy because, he looks like he would be cool to fucking have a beer with. And make no mistake, I think that even as stupid and as fucking ridiculous as George W. Bush is, I actually do think that, at a party, he probably would be a fucking fun guy to just sit and fucking, chit chat with. But people realize that, or it seemed like people were like, maybe it's not such a good idea to fucking put a guy like that into office because, the result is fucking woe, right? Did I just say woe? Hardship and woe. And it seemed like people fucking were like, all right, eyes are open, we no longer believe that, we no longer believe the government when they talk about like, the wars that we're in or for a good reason. It turns out that, Iraq was complete horse shit and, and yada, yada, yada. Then Obama comes around and puts everybody to sleep, essentially, because, he gives a good speech. He's very statesman-like. He reminds people or some people of JFK, which, by the way, I'm reading this fucking book, which I should be done with at this point, but it's hard. I mean, the book is fucking awesome, and I think I've already mentioned this before, but I got so much shit going on in my life that it's not always easy to just fucking sit down and read. But I'm almost done with the fucking book. But I'm reading this book. It's called The Best Evidence, and it's all about the fucking JFK assassination and just all the shit that doesn't fucking make sense. It's a great fucking book, and I recommend that, if you haven't fucking read it, it's a long fucking read. The book is thick. But, literally from beginning, like opening it up and starting, I had to fucking, I actually had to stop myself because the book was just so engrossing that I couldn't fucking put it down. And it's like it's kept the foot on the fucking gas the entire fucking time, which is a rare thing, especially when it's this kind of like, I don't know if it classifies as like biographical. Is that how you say that fucking word? It's weird to say that about a book like this, where it's not, some fucking made up shit or, some, fictitious, fucking, like crime drama or whatever, but it's a fucking page turner, and I struggled to fucking put it down. Now I haven't gotten back to it just because I've been busy, but every fucking day I'm thinking about that fucking book. It's just that fucking good. But anyway, so fucking, Obama comes around and they sort of, he sort of reminds people of JFK to a certain degree, because JFK was definitely a fucking statesman. He was definitely beloved by the country. He seemed, or he appeared to be like a guy with fucking principles and fucking morals and shit, but it turns out that, he was just, that was all just a fucking guise, because the first thing he did was bail out the fucking banks and basically give the finger to the 50 million, I think it was, or so fucking people that lost that either lost or were in the process of losing their fucking homes because of the horse shit that these fucking banks did. He expanded the 2 or 3 fucking wars that Bush got us into. He expanded them to fucking 7. The only good thing that I could say he did, and even that was kind of questionable, was he saved what was it, Chrysler or whatever, or fucking GMC, or one of the fucking auto companies or whatever. He kept them from folding up, but it's not like it stopped them from fucking moving their factories and shit overseas. It really didn't do anything that really benefited anybody, especially in fucking Detroit. You know, Obama, as great of a fucking speech sayer giver as he was, if you look at what he fucking did, I mean, he prosecuted fucking what's her face, Chelsea Manning, the lady. Well, he was, I guess, transgender person that, you know, basically exposed the horrific shit we were doing in fucking like Afghanistan or whatever. You know, he prosecuted her for blowing the whistle on the fucking war crimes that were going on in the Middle East. You know, he had the opportunity to fucking you know, give the WikiLeaks guy, what the fuck is his name? I can't fucking think of it. I keep wanting to say Elon Musk, but fuck that weasel looking fucking dude. You know, he could have just been like, all right, fine, you know, we're not going to fucking extradite you. All charges are fucking dropped, you know, because, I mean, you know, WikiLeaks is like the one last sort of like media source that can be trusted 100%. I mean, they've never, ever had to retract any of the fucking stories that they put out, you know, which is rare, and especially in this day and time. Right, because they're, you know, you have it like happening on the mainstream media all the time. They're like, oh, you know, we made a mistake and we have to retract this, and it turns out that the thing that we were pushing was complete fucking bull. That happens all the time. WikiLeaks, this has never fucking happened. They've never had to retract anything that they've put out there because everything that they've put out there is 100% true. You know, where was I going with this shit? Oh, fuck. I've been talking for an hour and 6 minutes. I don't know. My apologies. This was supposed to be fucking lighthearted. I was going to talk to you about, you know, I'm like, I was playing fucking Angry Birds. And, yeah, I am one of the fucking 2 people that still fucking play that game. And, I don't know. Should I tell? I mean, it's not really a story. You know, it's just a fucking thought I had while playing it. You know, I mean, it's weird. I get a weird sort of pleasure out of fucking knocking those little structures down. It's very fucking strange. You know, and you know what's even weirder is like this is not the first time I've, you know, like I didn't just I'm not like, oh, I just discovered this fucking game Angry Birds. Like I had played it before. You know, and was like, you know, the game got fucking old. And then a new version came out recently, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to play it again. And it turns out I love playing that game. It's weird how, you know, because it's really a strategy, right? You have to hit, you know, first of all, you got to choose the right fucking bird that you're going to fucking send over there, like a fucking grenade and shit. You know, they all have like different sort of, unique fucking powers and shit. You know, I mean, there's this one that it doesn't really have a fucking power, but he's just so fucking big that he just sort of, you know, bulldozes his way through the structure. So if you have like a structure that's like mostly fucking stone, he's the perfect fucking one. There's another guy that if you press it, you know, like when you launch him and he goes into the fucking building, if you fucking touch your screen, he fucking explodes. You know, there's the little fucking birds that really, you know, their fucking really only purpose is if the structure is made of ice. Like they're really fucking effective on that, but everything else they just, you know, it's like throwing a fucking wad of gum at a fucking wall and hoping to break shit down. You know, there's a fucking strategy, and nothing is more satisfying, at least to me, when shit fucking works out. Like if I just send one fucking bird and it just collapses everything, it's fucking, I don't know, it's weird. You know, it's weirdly fucking satisfying. But what fucking made me, you know, think about shit is that like right now they're having like, you know, this whole dedication to, you know, because I guess the anniversary of the fucking moon fucking landing or whatever. is just fucking passed or whatever. So, of course they have like a space themed thing going on in the fucking game. And it made me think about the fucking the Challenger, right? That was the one that back in the fucking 80s, like it exploded and shit. And everybody fucking watched as, as it just came crumbling back down to fucking earth. And it just, I had a fucking morbid fucking thought that it's like, like, have you noticed that ever since that fucking happened, they no longer send like some fucking ordinary Mo up with the fucking astronauts, right? Because wasn't there the teacher that was on that ship? And they were like, oh, it's the first time a fucking teacher is going up in space, and oh, boom, it fucking blows up. And I'm just thinking like, well, they were like, okay, obviously sending up regular fucking people, it's bad luck, so we're just never gonna fucking make that mistake again. And since then, they have never, as far as I know, it's not like I've been following any of that shit really. I think it's all fucking nonsense anyhow. But ever since then, they've never sent somebody that shouldn't fucking belong up there. And it makes you wonder, like, well, did she fucking do something? Did she like, oh, what's this fucking button do? And it just fucking, it's one of those, in case of emergency, just fucking blow the whole god thing up. And, just, I don't know. It makes you think about what fucking happened. And I know there's people out there. It's like, oh, how could you fucking say some shit like that? It's a fucking joke, okay? I don't really think she was up there fucking pressing buttons and just caused shit to explode. But, it was a funny fucking thought that now that I've said it out loud, not so funny. God, that was fucking horrible. You want to hear about the dream I had last night? Where I fucking, well, let me just put it out there, right? Like, I am, I'm 100% an animal lover, right? Like, even as a kid, like, I would fucking bring home stray fucking cats and dogs and shit. And, my mom, of course, would lose her shit and beat the shit out of me and kick the fucking animals out anyway. But I've always been one of those types. Like, I feel fucking like, like I can't go to like a humane society. I can't do it because the few times that I've had, like, it fucking affects me in a weird fucking way. Like, I go there and I want to take every fucking animal home with me because it's just the idea that they're just sitting there waiting for somebody to choose them. It just, it breaks my fucking heart, right? So when I tell you about this fucking dream, keep in mind that it's completely the opposite of how I view the animal world. Unless it's a fucking spider and I don't give a fuck. I take pleasure in fucking squishing them and just making their lives. Like the other day, there was what I think was a black widow. It was like nested right next to my fucking front door. And I could have just stomped on him and been done with, or stomped on her, since really it's just the females that are fucking dangerous. I could have just stomped on her and been done with it. But instead I decided to soak her in fucking like the shower cleanser stuff, that it's got like fucking bleach and fucking ammonia in it. I soaked her in it. And I fucking sat there like a fucking maniac, just cackling to myself about how horrific that death might have been. One day you're just chilling on your fucking web, and the next you're being sprayed with essentially acid. And and she kept trying to fucking get up and walk and shit, and she just couldn't fucking do it. And it was very fucking pleasurable for me. So spiders, I don't give a fuck. If I could, I mean, if I could find like different ways to fucking torture spiders, I probably would. Assuming that I could actually get close enough to them that I'd actually want to fucking do some shit like that. But whatever. So anyway, I had this fucking dream, and I had this dream that I had this little fucking dog, right? Like a Pomeranian. Like, it looked like a Pomeranian, but it was like much fucking smaller. Like one of those, what do they call them? Like toy fucking dogs and shit. Where they're just like ridiculously small. Sorry, I don't mean to keep eating your ear there. But like I had this dog, and like I came into my room, And I just like, just the overwhelming fucking scent of like shit hit me, right? And I look and he just, it is shit everywhere, right? Which, I think it was a puppy. It kind of reminded me of a puppy, but maybe just because it was super small, I looked at it like a puppy. So I tried to be like, all right, shit happens, no pun intended. And, so I clean it up. And then like I go to like I lift my fucking blanket and the fucking dog had shit where I lay. Right. And it was just like, oh, this motherfucker. And it pissed me off so fucking much. And I was like, all right, I gotta find this fucking dog. Right. And I was looking all around. I couldn't find it. And I went back into my room and I saw like under the covers, I see like a little rustling of the fabric there. And I'm like, okay, so there it is, right? So the first thing I do is I just fucking pound it like hard, right? And the dog, sort of like, yep, does that fucking shit that dogs do when something fucking hurts. And, and it should have ended there. I mean, I shouldn't even have fucking did that. Like, now that I think about it, like, I'm fucking like, I feel bad, even though obviously it was a fucking dream and I would never fucking do some shit. But like, even right now, I feel fucking horrific that I would even do some shit like that. But it gets much fucking worse, right? So like I lift up the fucking the blanket, right? And and he's looking up at me all fucking like cute and like, oh, what did I fucking do? Like, what's your fucking problem, right? And I go and I grab it by its back, right? Like, how like every now and then you'll see somebody grab like a cat by like the scruff of their fucking neck and shit. And, supposedly that doesn't hurt, although I don't know how that could possibly not hurt. You are basically holding it up by its fucking skin. There's no way that doesn't fucking hurt. But, like I grabbed him, but instead of the back of his neck, I grabbed like his back, right? Just a handful of fucking dog back. And I marched him into the bathroom, and I grab like a spray bottle and I spray my fucking mirror, right? And I proceed to fucking use this dog as a fucking sponge. And I wipe that fucking mirror down and I'm like pushing on him like, like I couldn't believe how fucking angry I was at this fucking dog. And, and I didn't feel bad until I let it go, and it just was like fucking laying there all limp. I mean, it wasn't dead, but it was definitely fucking hurt. And even then I was just like, well, it's kind of what you fucking get. You should have never shit in my fucking bed, And then I woke up and I was like, well, what the fuck was that about? Like I could never get that angry at a fucking dog. I mean, yeah, it would be fucking horrific to have that happen, to be like there's shit all over the floor, and then to look in the bed and then the dog fucking like shit specifically like where you keep your fucking face and shit. It was just, I could understand being upset, but so upset that I used the fucking dog like a sponge and fucking proceeded to clean shit with it. I don't know. It was fucking bizarre. And thinking about it now, it makes me feel like shit. Cause it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, am I like deep down, am I some kind of fucking psychopath? Like where the fuck did all that anger come from? Cause I'm not really, I know it's hard to tell on this podcast cause, I say fuck and call people cunts all the goddamn time. I know it sounds like I'm a really angry guy all the fucking time, but I'm really not. I'm really pretty fucking mellow. So it was just bizarre that there, like I had that much anger inside that, that I would do something like that, but it is what it is. I can't fucking control it. But if I don't know, later on down the line, you fucking, a news story comes out like, fucking local podcaster loses his shit and fucking, uses his dog as a fucking broom or some shit, like you'll know it was me, right? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I've been talking way too goddamn long. So, yeah. So fucking, I'm probably, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna release both. I don't know. You never know. It'll be like a fucking surprise, right? Either you're going to get like 2 fucking back-to-back fucking podcasts, or you're just going to get this one and you're going to be like, well, I wonder what he said in that other one that he's so reluctant to fucking release. I don't know. It is what it is. Either you get it or you fucking don't. Anyway, hope you're having a good fucking week. And, like always, don't take any shit and go fuck yourself. Peace.